kids. What do you want to be when you grow up?
A wife and a mommy.
All to Jesus I surrender. All to Him I freely give. I will ever love and trust Him in His presence daily. And I surrender all.
You're back up.
I surrender all to Thee, my blessed Savior. I surrender all.
Well, Jake asked us to go higher.
All to Jesus I surrender, humbly at His feet.
And he was sitting on the couch. The television was on, but his speech was a little bit slurred. And he was telling me that he couldn't breathe. And he's telling me, don't lift me, he didn't want me to hurt myself or the baby. And at that point, I asked my 11-year-old to call 911. But by Saturday, they were not optimistic at all. And I honestly, I already felt like I'd lost him by Saturday. And then he passed away Sunday afternoon around 2. So it was very quick. When we knew he wasn't gonna make it, I had to have them come tell him goodbye. And I let each of the children have a moment alone with him and say what they needed to say in order to not be embarrassed or just not be able to say what they needed to because someone else was in the room. And it was like a scene out of a movie. It was just gut-wrenching and heartbreaking. I grew up with a single mom, and so when Jeremy and I got married, we knew that this was it. We were, going to fight our way through, and we were not going to have our children growing up in that kind of family situation. And now, beyond all our control, I'm a single mom. I'm going to be raising 6 kids, and I'm not sure why God has allowed it to happen, but I don't really question why. I just expect big things from Him because He has allowed it to happen. I would say mainly that they don't lose me to a job so quickly after they've lost their daddy. That was one of my oldest daughter's greatest fears. Was she said to a neighbor, my life is going to change completely now. Mommy's not going to be there when I get home from school. She's going to have to work. And she's very, she would hear Jeremy and I talking about budget issues, just, we can't afford that, that's not in the budget. And so she's a little hypersensitive to that. And that was one of her fears, is that Mommy's going to have to work and she's not going to be here. Probably the hardest time for me is after the kids go to bed, because that would have been the time that he and I would have been together. So the silence, you think that when things are normal, oh, please just give me 10 minutes of silence. Let me sit here and eat alone. And now that's taken on a different meaning. Now I'm alone. It's not just he's not here and he's coming back. I'm alone. Despite, the 5 kids upstairs, but alone in a different way. So at night, I miss him a lot. That's the time we would have done our silly things. It was about the simple things for us, like sitting on the couch and watching our shows together, or talking through our day, or, that kind of thing. My future is unclear because now I'm a widow. I'm a single mom with 6 children, and that is someplace I never, ever imagined that I would be. This would not make sense to me without my faith. Without your faith, everything is random and has no purpose. And this would end me if I had no faith. If I had no, my faith is my frame of reference for this incident, this time of my life. It's how I teach my kids to get through it. Not that it's something that you would want to happen, but it's all defined within the framework of God's plan for your life. And that's enough for me. When I walked into ICU the first morning when we knew that he was not doing well, there was a familiar face in there from the church. Gretchen Reck works there. I'm not sure what she does, and she just held me while I sobbed and said, what am I going to do without my husband? And it's like God put her there for that reason, that moment. I really had to let people step in where I didn't before, because I do need it. And I think to say that you don't need it, you're going to do more harm to yourself than good. And plus you have to realize people are being obedient, loving my kids, doing for them, including them, and not forgetting about us.